Hello, guys. Welcome back to In the House Media House Call. This is your host, Michelle Diamond. And of course, we welcome everyone into the house, and all we ask is for you to pay it forward. And on this trend setting Thursday, we have the wonderful and multi talented violinist virtuoso Richmond Punch with us. How are you this evening? So seems like we're having internet connection on his end here. How are you doing this evening, Richmond? Can you hear me? Rich? Hi, Richmond. Okay, I believe he was having internet connection. So, in the meantime, just to give you a little bit of back history on violinist Richmond, he is, of course, a master of his craft, and he is originally from Dallas, Texas, and he graduated from the top rated arts magnet Booker T. Washington High School for performing and visual arts. And pretty much he has toured everywhere. He's played for quite a few celebrities himself. He's a celebrity in his own right, and he's done some amazing things. I know that he's actually in my area in Tucker, Georgia, where he will be at the Tucktoberfest. So all my Tuckers, hey, I'm ready. I cannot wait. He's extraordinaire, and it's going to be an amazing thing. We have some things lined up for you guys where he will be playing live. So hopefully his internet connection comes back and we could have him on. If not, in the meantime, we'll tell you a little bit about what In the House Media has going on. Actually, Dr. Dorn is all the way in Philadelphia right now, and he is there as a director, and they're running a telethon, and he's been doing some amazing things. He was a speaker, and I just want Dr. Dorn to tell us a little bit about it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Yeah, as she said, I'm up here in Philadelphia, and I'm working with actually one of my mentors, Bishop Mike Jones, and he called me and asked me to speak at his media conference. And a few days later, he called me and asked me to be director of the conference because we're filming for a documentary, and it's been quite an experience. It's been quite an experience because we've been working long hours. I met another young lady, videographer up here I've been working with, and she's awesome. Her name is Saint Levon. I call her Saint L. And it's been a great experience. And we have violinist Richmond back, and I'm a behind the scenes kind of guy, and I don't. I'm gone.
Well, I appreciate you hopping in and telling us a little bit about it. We kind of caught them up to speed, Richmond, on where you're from, hailing from Dallas, Texas. We talked a little bit about you, attending the top rated arts magnet. School of Performance, Booker T. Washington. And now that you're back, we will take it to the floor. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, as our special guest, we like to, basically hear everything that you have going on. I can't wait for you to play, get into everything. And we just wanted to, hear what inspired you to play the violin.
Yes, ma'am. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Miss Michelle, for having me on today. I'm really excited to be on your show, and
Yay.
yeah, growing up in Dallas was, it was quite an experience. Um, the music was amazing. Uh, Church was awesome. Those are some of the things that I really experienced as a young child that really shaped me musically. Was this concerts, hearing the music around, going to church, But I didn't know that when my mother wanted me to be a successful child, put me in a public school from the South Side. I lived in the South Side, with poverty, crime, like that kind of area of Dallas. But when my mom bused me to the North Side to go to school, I had no idea that this was going to change my life.
Right. Well, let me tell you, it's changed my life because each time I hear you play, I'm left in awe. So you're doing an amazing job. So keep it up. I'm a huge fan. As you know, I'm always like, oh, yes, he's amazing. Always asking you when you're going to be back in town. And I know that you're currently, touring as well. And you have so many things lined up. And we'll get into that a little bit later. I did tell them that you will be in our city for Tucktoberfest. Right here in the city of Tucker. So I'll be out. We know that the elections are right around the corner. So we have the mayoral candidates that are going to be there, like Robin Biro, Sean Woods, and a lot of other amazing guests. So I'm there and I can't wait to see you in person again. So tell me, what is your creative process like?
Oh, sure. Well, I think, first of all, creatively, and matter of fact, right now I'm in the middle of completing a CD project. So creatively, I just kind of think of ideas. I think of ideas and then I record instantly. I record just to my phone. I'll sing sometimes even, or just record a scratch melody into my phone, and I do those like ongoing. And then I figure out within that melody, sort the melody, what is it workable? Is it chords? And sometimes I'll sing like the part B and the part C to a song way later on. And then I'm going back, and this is like, they could be 30 days apart. Part B come 30 days later. Part C come 30 days later, 60 days later. And then I'm over there trying to piece together what I was saying, because I never figure out, I don't put the whole parts in one time. I put all those, that's just a part, at least when it comes to recording, when it comes to melodies and like original songs. But creatively, I'm a jazz musician, today. Like first and foremost, I improvise. So creatively, I have to be able to do things on the fly. I just practice and practice and practice and listen to all styles of music, because in my process, I could be asked to do any kind of music, any style of music. So I just, focus. I pray every day before I start my day, before I pursue my entrepreneurship business, and I just try to be the best musician I can.
That's awesome. And, we know that faith-based, just making sure that we, believe in something and know that, through prayer, everything is possible. That's awesome that you have a whole process like that. And I can't wait to see everything that you have coming for us, because I know that, you are very creative in your art in itself. So tell us, what would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your career?
If it wasn't for a career in music, I know my life, I think it would be very different. I love, I don't know if I would be in what kind of field I would work in. It's really hard to think of because everything in me is music. But I know one example. I would probably be working in a symphony orchestra in a way, to think about it, because what I'm doing right now is entrepreneurship. So if I wasn't doing this, if I never discovered something beyond classical music, I would just be sitting in a symphony. And you probably never know my name. You would know my name as member of Dallas Symphony or as member of Atlanta Symphony or something.
Correct. But we know you've done some amazing things. I know that you were out with my aunt at one time, Dr. Denise Mitchum. We had that whole conversation, and you were actually there, and you played for, I believe it was one of the local mayors in Atlanta for their anniversary, and I thought that was just such a beautiful piece. I think you were over by Andrew. Was it with Andrew Young?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
I did. I recently
yeah.
did play for Andrew Young.
Yes,
That's right.
that's correct. Yes. So I thought that was exceptional. I saw the video and I was just like, oh, amazing, amazing, amazing. So keep up the great work because like I said, I'm a huge fan and always just love to listen to you. Classical music with a mixture of, today's culture. It's just breathtaking the things that you do. So thank you for that. Um,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So tell us, we know that you've done some things for Andrew Young and some other celebrities. Tell us who and where you've performed, who you've performed for
Sure.
and where.
One of the biggest things that I'm known for in career, even before moving to Atlanta, is performing as soloist at the Potter's House Church. So that included, of course, performing and being around Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Right.
And I've also performed for celebrities including Viola Davis,
Yes.
Danny Glover. Recently, since moving to Atlanta, I performed for Sir Charles Barkley. Was listening to my band for one night. He came out and sat for about 4 hours actually, and
Wow.
really didn't move and listened to my band the whole night. And there have been numerous other occasions. Especially, I'm proud of my first film that had major film, which has happened since moving to Atlanta. Is Bishop T.D. Jakes' film called Lust on
Right.
Lifetime, now out on Lifetime. And the film day, I step on a set, and it's just all these people you would want to meet, and they're just there. And it was Kerry Hilson, Tank,
Right.
and a host of celebrities that literally heard me play as I did all my takes. As we kept all day long, we were just around each other. So it's pretty cool.
Exactly. I mean, you've done so much. Real Housewives of Atlanta, to name a few. Played backup for Kenny G, Diana Ross. Like you've done some amazing things. So we know that you're, not new to this, and even opened up for Adina Menzel, which that in itself is just amazing. I love it. And I think your band is it the TKO band? Is
Yeah,
that
that's right. It's called the Punch TKO
your
Band.
band?
That's right.
Yes, yes. I told you I'm a huge fan. So,
Thank you.
awesome. You're welcome. So tell us, you know, what about your actual violin that's so special? Tell us about your violin.
Oh, sure. The one that I normally playing is not the one that's in my hand per se, but the one I'm normally playing is an electric. But these two are very much like brother and sister to me, both of my instruments. The electric violin, of course, has been amazing and has changed my life. I play an instrument made by Yamaha. Matter of fact, actually, I have a new student. My new student is the former mayor's daughter.
Is that the young girl that I
Well,
saw you playing? You were giving her some pointers with the violin on the
yes,
patio. Ah,
that's right.
beautiful.
Yes. Former Mayor Kazim Reed's daughter just became my violin student, and I mean, and
Amazing.
actually, the footage that's on my social media is literally the day one lesson.
Wow.
That's day one. So that's pretty cool. And I used this violin while I was teaching, and it was just kind of amazed me because I was trying to check her ear, and I just played something. I go,
Right.
let's see, I'm gonna go. But it wasn't even an easy song like that. It was something more complicated
Right. That
than
was
that, because
somewhere
that's
over the
really familiar.
rainbow.
And she sang the notes back to me exactly.
Wow.
And so I was like, well, no, did this child have perfect pitch? She was right on it.
That's
And I found out she
awesome.
previously played guitar and some piano. But
Ah,
yeah, I still don't know if
okay.
she has actual perfect pitch, but she can definitely hit a note.
That's good. So that means that she's into possibly Bach and Beethoven, because I mean you did do Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and that's like a classical piece itself. So
Hmm.
that's awesome.
Hmm.
I'm loving it. Okay, so um, getting into everything with music, how does the new popularity of music streaming affect the popularity of classical music?
Oh, it's a very good question.
Thank you.
Um, classical musicians that sit in an orchestra that are one of 50 to 100 sitting back there,
Right.
went to social media coming into play. They had, and just musicians that were trained like that, almost robotic,
Right.
Wizard of Oz, had to figure out how to come to life in a social media era. In a social media era, so it's like in order, like say they wanted to become individual artists, like I am, then they had to learn how to move and dance
Right.
and interact with the audience and all those things. So that
Exactly.
I think that's as far as what you was saying about um, the era of streaming. I'm just thinking about whole entire music career comes into play
Right.
because nobody's gonna buy your music today unless they see you. I think
Mm-hmm.
that first thing that really makes the classical artist in a world of streaming is being able to be seen.
Mm.
Um, and so part of that is learning how you interact. How do you get a follower? How do you interact? And then people have to buy your music. Stream, you got to constantly put out music. So, in my case, it involved very much learning how to play other styles. Because if I was going to
Right.
go into entrepreneurship, um, I couldn't make it work large scale with having large streams, and my music knowledge was only like this, limited.
Minute. Right.
Yeah, limited. I couldn't necessarily try to go national, international, figure out grow that kind of career on some Bach, Beethoven, Mozart,
Exactly.
when and I had to really explore,
Mhm.
listen to music, go back to church roots, go to jam sessions, go hit the street and go earn my
Mm.
college money in the subway system, like when I was at Juilliard in New York,
Right.
and on from that.
That's awesome. So, in to basically sum it all up, adaptation is very relevant right now. When it comes to classical music and connecting with, today's world of social media, you know,
Hmm.
that is something that everyone should be looking into, especially in growing, their careers.
Hmm. Very true.
Okay, awesome. So, do you have a favorite violin piece that you like to perform?
Favorite. My favorite. Well, I have a favorite, and I have a different favorite that I prepared for you today. But my all-time
Ooh,
favorite piece is Amazing Grace.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I would love for you to play your favorite for us.
Sure. Yes. And there are many, many favorites, and I prepared one for you today.
Okay, awesome. encore, encore. Oh my goodness.
Did you recognize it?
Yes, I'm just like listen, everything, even the marketing promo that we did, the pieces that you submitted, oh my gosh. I was just like, are you kidding me? Like look, back that violin up. That was just I was floored, like amazing. You a breath of fresh air always.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness. You look, I'm like, encore, we're gonna have you play that again at the end. I'm telling you,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for that. I know I'm gonna have a lot of my colleagues reach out to me like, when is he available? We need him on this next track, So this is amazing. I can't wait. So great. Um, Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, who is your favorite composer? I have a few of my favorite, but who is
Mhm.
your favorite composer of all time?
Sure. My favorite composer of all time, maybe that goes back to like my first CDs. The music was like Duke Ellington's music,
Mm.
Miles Davis. There was like three artists whose CDs I bought, but I'm talking about the music that they recorded.
Right.
Uh, Duke Ellington, um, Miles Davis compositions, and just anything that Ella Fitzgerald sang.
Ah, great
All those
choice. Oh
old
yes.
original jazz standards.
Yeah.
Um, that's what led to me um, being the musician that I am today, knowing all these different various styles. If I hadn't went out and bought those CDs, it might have been a little bit different story.
Right. It's awesome because, composers, they tell a story and, through the music, it's like a place that you could return to over and over again. And the pieces and the names that you dropped, of course, Ella Fitzgerald, Miles Davis, definitely, their music, that they have some truly inspirational music. Exactly. And just touches the soul. I'm telling you, you get right
Yeah.
to it. So awesome pieces. Oh, great. Me, I am a classical lady. I love them all, but I also, appreciate, of course, we talked about Bach, Beethoven,
Hmm.
Vivaldi. These are some of the people that I
Yes.
appreciate as well. What is your routine before a performance? Do you follow any particular superstitions or anything?
Well, as they say in classical music, the most important thing is actually be able to draw a single note in a strong, solid, and peaceful manner. So the first thing a lot of people they'll tell you, practice musicians is just one single note. Matter of fact, just yesterday or 2 days ago, I submitted for a film for a movie, a new series, television series, and it was very classical in style. It was film. It was classical. It was classical cinematic music that I never heard. And so they submit and they said, send us your playing of this song. So when I saw that it was very, very classical, I had to change, some of my normal. And,
Right.
where I'm just thinking about chords and broadening and playing all kind of notes within the 13 notes of the scale. And I had to think in the classical. So I started with just one single note. I started with all the way back to how I'm playing, holding my bow. And
Mm.
I played one single note. And then I remembered some different weight things within classical music. And then I proceeded to
Okay.
actually warm up. You know,
Wow.
so,
Wow.
but yeah, that's, I guess that's a little bit mix of I guess I was trying to show you some of the classical routine, but then also some of the jazz routine.
Right. Okay. Amazing. Well, I know that's, nothing new to you. I know you said that they asked you to submit, but you're used to doing things like that. You mentioned the movie. I know that even during the pandemic, you played like a 4-hour set. Tell us a little bit about that for the live broadcast.
Sure. Yes, ma'am. So that was after George Floyd was killed by police officer Derek Chauvin.
Right.
Then the incident happened with Rayshard Brooks here in Atlanta at the Wendy's when,
Right.
they say he was on his way to his daughter's birthday. And it basically was at a Wendy's and fell asleep, or pulled over at a Wendy's, fell asleep, ended up costing him the ending of his life. And I went out to the Wendy's the next day, and I was, very, as I still am to this day, unhappy with the inequality of Black people, treatment of Black people, racism, injustice. So I try to convey that message through music. And then one of my friends suggested, I had like videos from me being at the Wendy's. They suggested I contact the family, and I ended up being able the opportunity to play for the viewing service at Ebenezer Church.
Right.
And I was there, there in the moment playing it. And then I find out after having started, that I was on national TV live.
Right. I think that one was like over 1 million viewers, correct?
Yes. It was, of course, it was viewed worldwide in many, many countries. All the networks, including some international networks, so ABC, NBC, CNN, all of them. The way they were going to do it was because of the amount of people. They didn't know if it was going to be 2 hours or 4 hours. Right. So I played 2, but then people continued to come. So it became all of a sudden like a 4-hour streaming. They didn't stop.
Wow.
They didn't stop streaming me, and I didn't stop playing.
Amazing. And that experience to you, because you said that you're basically like a huge advocate for, a righteous cause, any injustice. That experience in itself, what did that mean to you personally?
Sure. Well, these days, especially, I have conversations with a lot of my friends about things that can lead to better reform in policing. I have one of my friends, we talk about creating better training systems, but unifying the training systems so that all the people from different careers in policing, medical, therapy, doctors, officers, lawmakers, politicians, lawyers, that they all have experienced the same training or the trainings, and then they have follow-up forums within the cities that they live in where they're able to meet, talk about things, figure out things, solve the issues, and create laws. Well, of course, do their job correctly, but also create laws that make sense. They're like mandatory, courses that all should take the same course as it relates to injustice, racism, how to treat Black people, and then, because it's the lack of unity, as we're seeing even with this vaccine, that is the reason that we can't even save our own lives together. Then we have injustice, and we can't live together, and in a harmonious way, So it's just, and I actually talked to. I was like, a lot of my clients are the kind of people that can, but not necessarily me myself, but my clients are the kind of people that can change laws. And I have lots of clients that are lawyers,
exactly,
heads, politicians.
Yes,
I have offices, I have hospitals, all those things. So I really want to get together with people that hopefully soon and actually figure out
Right.
how to make some kind of change.
Right.
And then, but there was someone that I met. They said the greatest way to do that is to run for office and make the laws yourself. But I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't.
City council. You could get into city council.
Oh no, but
He's like,
what I
no.
will do is continue to have them at the front and front of my Rolodex.
Right.
So when that day comes, I personally know people in position
Correct.
that can be the lawmakers.
Exactly.
And I'll
And
show
it's
up with my
always good.
violin.
Exactly.
play-
And it's always good to attend the council meetings, your city council meetings, because
Mhm.
everybody has a voice. And, that's my thing now. Yes, we're great. We love the media world, the PR aspect of it. We have a lot of people in the same circles, great networking circle, of course. However, there's more to it than just music or, media. When you're connecting with people to change or make a difference in what's happening and, the reoccurring now, we have to make sure that our voice is heard. And, everything that we do should have a reason behind it. And my favorite thing is make it make sense. Let's make things make sense. So we're not just walking around with the wool pulled over our eyes. Like, you're not a robot. You have a voice for a reason. And, we have to learn to respect each other's perspective and, come to a happy medium, because we can agree to disagree, as long as it makes sense.
Mhm.
So I totally agree, and definitely use those powers at B. Absolutely. So I'm with you with that. Which contemporary violinist do you most admire?
Contemporary violinists. One of them would probably be Jean-Luc Ponty. As well as I'm gonna say recently she's coming back into the picture even more is Miri Ben-Ari. Miri Ben-Ari. She liked me for the first time on social media. Within the last 30 days.
Right.
So some people would be like, who are those two people? So
Right.
Jean-Luc Ponty is one of the fathers of electric violin out of France. He one of those main pioneers when people think
Right.
of electric violin.
Correct.
A white European, funky,
Oh,
get
yes.
down,
Oh, yes.
man. And then Miri Ben-Ari, while I was in school, basically, she rose with artists like Twista, Kanye West, like some of the early 2000s hip hop. And she also went on Apollo and became one of the first well-known. She had the long, like flowing hair,
Right.
curly, big
Mhm.
hair, and became basically known as like that female hip hop violinist.
Yes, I've watched her flourish as well and saw her movement. Beautiful young lady. And I know I have some person that's are you familiar with Damola? He's very diverse.
Mhm.
So yes, love Damola. And Regina Carter.
Oh yeah.
Yep. What is it? Creamer? Get on Creamer, is it? Get on
Oh
Creamer?
yeah. Get on Kramer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's diverse as well, but Carter more jazz. So
Mhm.
like I have a nice little mixture of stuff. I'm like, I like that little eclectic vibe, but
Yep.
very good stuff. Yeah. So great choices yourself. Awesome.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Tell me what's the best advice you have been given in this music industry?
The advice to never to give up is one of the biggest things. To not let anyone tell you no, like the thousands of parents or teachers or school systems that how do you say that some of them will even give a child the instrument But then like a year later, somebody will be like, you sound bad, or you can't do that no more, or we can't afford that, or what are we gonna do with that, or the that's part of that never giving up. Teach your children the right way. Yes, they can achieve anything.
Absolutely.
Don't just put a stop to something because you don't believe
right.
that child or person could be successful at it. The other one it came to my mind the other day, remembering what my mom used to say to me was the prayer of wait, I can look it up. The prayer of Francis of Assisi. Hold on. It's a musician's prayer. And okay, right, here it comes, and I'll just read part of it. Well, music prayer. Yeah, I've got it. I forgot to put the word music. Okay,
that's fine. I appreciate you sharing this with us.
It's because I don't have it memorized, and I want to make sure I'm
right verbatim.
Almost there. Okay, it'll come up. Oh, there it is. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon.
Okay.
And that's only part of the
I know
prayer.
that one actually.
It goes on, where there's doubt, faith, and it goes on and on.
Right. I did not know that it was the musician's prayer, though. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he wrote it. He was, I believe, he was a musician himself. In addition to being a priest, and he wrote that prayer specifically to musicians.
That's amazing. Wow.
And my mom used to say that to me.
That's awesome. I love that. That's very encouraging, and for you to say never giving up. And we know that you haven't given up on your journey in this music industry, and you have become like a household name, I would say, so much that you also were ATL's hottest musician in 2020. How did it feel to receive that award?
That was quite something. It was, going into 2020, I was trying to figure out how to, adjust, adapt, and as well as like trying to rebrand myself in a new way as I moved to Atlanta. And then to like not have been here even a year, because I moved here March 1st, 2020. My wife and I moved here for dreams, bigger entertainment dreams, career dreams. But not having been here even a few months, and then to receive a message saying, we'd like to nominate you for Atlanta's hottest musician. And then to just keep on persevering and to receive the award is truly amazing. It lets me know that this place is the place that I need to be. This place makes a difference.
It does.
Yes. It changed people's lives. The world's eyes are always on Atlanta. Like actually the world's eyes have been on me a lot more since I moved to Atlanta. People, when I was in Dallas, they're like, okay, that's the gentleman from Dallas. So like I moved to Atlanta, they're like, that's that guy that's in Atlanta taking over the scene. Like it's so I don't even know how that's possible. People's mindset like that, but it's really something being here, being around that, and I'm truly honored.
Right, and we're absolutely honored to have you. You're such a humble person, and we appreciate everything that you're doing. And with that, since we're talking about your journey, relocating here just recently last year, has your musical journey had a deliberate direction, or did it simply gradually evolve in whatever direction it found?
That's a good question. I feel like everything did happen for a reason. Whereas I wanted to at first believe in my life that I moved to Atlanta a lot later than I should have. I'm like, I should have done that years ago when I was figuring out how to be a successful artist. But the timing had been perfect. The certain things that did happen were in an alignment where it, some of the things that happened, of course, you would never want to happen, like the injustice to Rayshard Brooks, for instance.
Correct.
The pandemic itself, but then for that to become like the fire that got me to think even bigger, to figure out how to make even bigger moves, to still post parts of my canceled tour, and now it ends up being I'm still touring on the same name that I put in January 1st, 2020. I'm still touring on the same name, and my dates are like double. Like my dates don't stop.
I saw that, and thank you for sharing that. So, everything happens for a reason. I like that. And, so with your tour, and I'm glad that you brought that because that basically comes right into what we just discussed about your journey. What's next for you? Where are you heading next? I know we have the Tucktober Festival, and
Yep.
I think two things in Tucker, and I know you mentioned the DR, and I saw
Mhm.
some other amazing places. So tell us what are you excited to go to the DR, and what else is on the journey for you?
Yes, ma'am. So, I guess there's a number of things in the works. I mean, that are coming up as well as in the works. One of those things is we spoke of the Oktoberfest. They call it the Tucktoberfest.
Right.
But Tucker, Georgia is this weekend will be my second performance of the Tucktoberfest. I also did one recently, and this will be the final one. Then upcoming after that, besides some band appearances at venues such as Cigar City Club in Sandy Springs. Then I also have Dîner en Blanc in Jacksonville, Florida. Will be my first ever performance in Jacksonville. Or first time going to Jacksonville. Really excited about that. Dîner en Blanc is the white party. Comes from France. Amazing. Something to experience. And then I have Nashville. That's jumping into 2022, Nashville. But even right now on my phone, I'm trying to secure Halloween in Dallas, which should hopefully be a friend's vodka lunch party, and vodka lunch and Halloween party in Dallas, a wedding in St. Louis. I just secured a law conference in Orlando.
Wow.
Called the CCYLC. I've also recently secured a conference, the Leading Age Conference, which would be at Georgia World Congress
Center.
How do you say it? Georgia World Congress Center.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a national conference which will have normally has over 10,000, 10 to 15,000 people. We'll probably have 5 to 8 because of the pandemic.
Correct.
But it continues. The Dominican Republic is, I guess, the final one I'll mention. I'll be out there for 5 days during the Soul Fest.
Right. Love it. Love it. Exciting. Look, I'm like, Jerome, we're going to the DR because we're going to follow. I know I told you that also when we were talking, but yes, definitely love it. I can't wait to see you at Tucktoberfest. Yes, with the Tuckers. Hey, my fellow Tuckers. So, this is amazing. I absolutely love it. With that being said, give us 3 words that describes you as a person and why.
Happy, dancer. Yeah, dancer and innovator. Yeah, happy, dancer, and innovator. Why am I happy? Do you wake up every day? Just to wake up today itself is
Yes.
is a reason to be happy. I'm happy because of my wife, because she's amazing. She helps me. Sacrifices a lot for me, and I'm just happy that I also don't have to do everything by myself
Right.
in this world, and that is a blessing.
Right.
Why else am I happy? Because Atlanta is just endless opportunities.
This is true.
One of the reasons I moved here was because it was one of the top 10 places. There's a different reason, but I saw there was a top 10 place that has corporate events or conferences in the United States, like a top 10 sought out site for event. I didn't realize that when I get here that I would end up being able to get some opportunities to receive those calls.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's some of the happiness dancing, because I just love to dance. I'm not trained in dancing, but Atlanta, it just brings it out of you even more. When I'm just around like so many people, especially so many people of color with so much high energy, I just can't help myself sometimes. Like, I'm an entertainer. One of the last, I'm gonna post it tonight. I haven't necessarily posted it, but it's a wedding I did recently. And I don't know what, I played all these different songs. I broke into Goodies by Sierra.
Oh.
You know,
Mhm.
you know, like My Goodies, and everybody
Exactly.
started, how does it?
Mhm.
And I mean, like, people, I don't know, they started going off. And so dancing, so to the point that I actually invented something called violin twerking, which is
Mm.
where I twerk and play the violin with the
I love it. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Yes.
while playing the violin. You can see that it's a hashtag, violin twerk or violin twerking. It's a hashtag,
Okay.
and then what's the other one I said? Oh, there was a third one.
You said happy, dancer,
Dancer.
and ooh,
Wait a minute.
I don't
Innovator.
Innovator. Yes.
So
Innovator, yes.
okay, so during the pandemic, I had like light bulb, like hit me, like straight, like, ding! And like I started imagining a bigger career right in the middle of the pandemic. And I came up with a violin and dancer concept called Strings in Motion, where I have dancers, the trained kind, alongside me while performing. And I've already been touring with the Strings in Motion. Another one is I always wanted to have a second line band where it's like second line with like your normal with the horns and everything, but add a violin. So
You're taking me to to New Orleans.
Yes,
With that
and
vibe,
actually
yes.
that's what I did, by the way, at Andrew Young's house, Ambassador Young. I
Yes,
played New
I
Orleans.
remember when they were dancing together. I
Mm-hmm.
do. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but the band, and I wanted to have strings, because one of the things you never see with a second line band or the processional funeral, um, celebrating live, doing some celebrating live, celebrating in the midst of a storm is really, I guess, how the second line was formed, because people couldn't, the white people, white America would never accept Black people. They would never have celebrated them like that. They could celebrate themselves in the second line, celebrate life.
Right.
That, you know, otherwise it wouldn't have been celebrated. And there's the whole story behind second line. But anyway, the band is called Symphonic, and it's where symphony meets funk. And I go in there and I hang right with the trumpet players and the tubas and my Gremlin, Prairie View, my Clark AU,
Awesome.
and I march right on with them. And anyway, so that's Symphonic.
Okay. So the 3 words: happy, innovator, and dancer. Dance. Awesome. Well, I definitely can see it all, and it, you know, comes through in the videos for sure. So what we're going to ask you to do is take this time, you know, before closing, to share your social platforms and the best way that, you know, any of our viewers that are interested in booking you can actually contact you.
Okay, sure. Online, you can find me under richmondpunch.net. My name is Richmond Punch. My Instagram is @ViolinRichmond.
And it's written right here under his name.
Oh, that's right. That's correct. On TikTok, you would put my name together with no spaces. That would be Richmond Punch. I'm an avid a user of LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn under Richmond Punch. And I'm also on all social media. My music is on Amazon, iTunes, Tidal, and all platforms, everywhere you find music.
Awesome. Awesomeness. Thank you for sharing that. And at this time, I just wanted to say thank you. And if you could give us another little piece before we go,
Sure.
It's amazing. I know that I follow you on all platforms, and definitely, guys, make sure that you tap in because he's truly amazing and he will not disappoint. So if you could give us a little something before we go.
I sure will. You were speaking of this earlier, which was a song I submitted to you.
Yeah. Yes, I love it. Dr. Dorn had to jump back in for that one. Yes, I knew he was back there jamming. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, Richmond. Violinist Richmond Punch at Violin Richmond on Instagram, Violin Richmond Punch on Facebook, and as he said, you know, violinrichmondpunch.net. You have all that information. If you have any questions, concern, you can always reach out to us. We will definitely, you know, get you in contact with him, and you can definitely send him a DM, and he would send you the proper, you know, ways to get in touch with him, and you know, for booking information and so forth. And I just want to say thank you guys for tuning into this amazing segment of In the House Media House Call, and we truly give our shout outs to our partners.
Yeah,
That is the Lake Pavilion.
oh,
And
tomorrow.
you, Violin Richmond, amazing as always. And remember, we always welcome everyone in the house. All we ask for you to do is pay it forward. Thank you, Dr. Dorn, for providing this platform. Until next time, guys, this is your host, Michelle Diamond, Dr. Dorn, and Violinist Richmond Punch.